What you want, when you want it, where you want it. This is TheMESH. What you want, when you want it, where you want it. This is TheMESH.
We'll try not to like too much talk over each other, but again, we are girls and we are
agree to disagree.
And I was like,
Okay, moving on.
well, the makeup bottle.
A little.
Looks like a cracked out T-bird, some grease.
Yeah, I can
You
see
know,
that.
she's got that black hair.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Chick Chat here on the TheMESH Podcast Network. Thanks for tuning in. We're back. It's our favorite time of the year. It is back to school time. Kids are back in school and things have returned to normal. Life is as it should be, which is on a routine. How are you, Jeanette?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, good.
Fall is here. I'm loving the weather.
Oh, it's starting to get a little crispy on the mornings and the evenings are cool and it feels good. And the kids are finally in their routine, getting back into the groove of things. I'm excited. I'm happy. And all is right in the world.
Yes.
I mean, I just saw some pumpkins the other day.
Everywhere. They're everywhere.
I
don't know if I'm excited or annoyed.
I know I don't want to jinx it, but I'm kind of here for it. I think I've said before many years, I'm not a pumpkin spice girl of any sort. I don't like pumpkin anything. I don't like pumpkin pie. I don't like pumpkin spice. I don't like pumpkin flavors. I don't like the smell of pumpkin, whatever. But I can decorate the hell out of one and utilize it throughout the house. So, I'm not far off. It's what? Early September right now? I'm good. I'm ready. Let's bring it out. I saw a leaf change colors the other day. I'm good.
We're not that far. I don't think we're that far into it yet, but
nope, we're getting there.
It's a little brisk in the morning, which I don't hate.
Don't hate that at all.
It's still kind of toasty by the afternoon, but I'll take the morning. I'll take what I can get right now.
Absolutely. Savor it while you can. I'm clinging on to our little sweatshirt summers we have out here. It's nice. Yeah,
I was out there in June and the weather is almost perfect.
Oh, yeah. Thanks.
You're
I have something to do with it. Yeah. I'm taking credit for it.
Thanks, Mary Margaret.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
No, it was beautiful. I loved that weather.
The lack of humidity is noticeable, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Absolutely.
It's a different thing. I actually spent more time on the East Coast this summer than I have in a long time. And just a week and a half ago, over Labor Day, I had to do a quick trip back to the East Coast for a family wedding. Just there long enough to, I was in Georgia and flew into South Carolina, drove through the upstate of South Carolina into Georgia. And it was, I tell you, it was a wedding in the soup is what I felt like. I was just walking through an armpit. It was muggy. It rained in the evenings, which was glorious. It was beautiful. I love a thunderstorm. I don't get many thunderstorms out here or lightning. And so that was fantastic. It was really great. But damn, it was sticky. And there's so many bugs. How did I spend 40 years there? I'm not really sure, but man, all the bugs.
There's lots of bugs.
Yeah, lots of bugs. And then the rain, like I said, was great, but it just made it even more soupy. So I just, I'm not ashamed to admit that I am a pansy now when it comes to going back to the East Coast. Really am.
Oh, I get it. I moved from Ohio down here, and when I go back home, I swear, they're walking around in short sleeves, and I got my winter parka on. What is wrong with you people?
It's cold, guys. Yeah.
And my family makes fun of me. They're like, you grew up in this weather for 25 years. What's the difference?
No, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
I've spent the last 25 down here, so.
Yeah. We did a beach trip over summer out to the East Coast as well for a family vacation with lots and lots of family. And it was a wonderful time. But, and it was the downside is that it was this beautiful vacation with lots of family that we don't get to see very often, and everybody was there. So there was lots and lots of pictures taken and memories made and stuff. And, I just had to come to terms with the fact that in every picture I look horrible and will be at my worst because I'm wringing wet and like in a baseball hat, no makeup, stuff like that, and I just had to be okay with that because it looks like I stepped out of the ocean in every picture, but oh well, I'm pretty sure one day they're looking at me and, if they come visit out here, they'll be like, oh my gosh, you look fantastic.
Right.
And just be like, thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks.
You're not going to just sweat all day.
I know.
You're not going to sweat all day. Your air conditioner's not going to run 24 hours a day. It's going to be wonderful.
Yeah. Yeah. It's all good. So anyway, I am ready for fall. Let's just bring it in on that, but let's be honest. We do have to get down to the nitty gritty. We are going to discuss our favorite part of summer, the thing that goes down every summer, the thing we have one episode every year dedicated to. We will be discussing Big Brother. For those of you that don't watch Big Brother, you probably can tune out. You might not even get it. You don't even understand. But I do have one question before anybody leaves and tunes off the episode just yet. I have one question for you, Jeanette, because we can expand on this on the next episode because it might give you homework. But are you watching The Secret Life of Mormon Wives?
So I started it. I've got to pick it back up because I got a little annoyed. I think I'm into either the second or third episode. I don't really know. They've all blended together. My jaw dropped so many times that first episode that I was like, what is this that I'm watching? Is this appropriate to watch with my child? I'm confused.
Right.
Who are these women? It's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I will say I have started. I don't know if I'm going to continue.
It's a little bit of a train wreck. It's a little bit of I honestly was hoping for a little bit more of like a documentary style.
Oh, okay.
So that I was hoping
than reality show.
Yeah. Yes. I was hoping for a little bit more of like a behind the scenes with some interviews, obviously, because it's real life stuff like happening right now. But I was hoping for a little more behind the scenes, but this is more like, this is just pure reality show. And so, at first I was like, man, I don't really know if I like this, but then.
Does it get good?
I mean, I don't know. Now I'm just like invested because I find myself knowing their names and like.
See, I'm just kind of in that. I'm with you. I can see a documentary maybe being better.
Yeah.
Because some of the things, and again, I'm only in episode 2 or 3, but some of it seems really forced and uncomfortable almost.
Some of it's fishy. Okay. That's what I'm saying. I think I'm watching because I am waiting for a ball to drop. I'm waiting for some sort of nugget. Okay. I don't know that I'm going to get it, but maybe in my mind, I might get it. Like to me, it might be big news or something. Might not be to everybody else, but I mean, I don't follow all these women on like TikTok or anything, but so since we moved out here out west, like, I mean, there's a very large Mormon population out here.
Oh.
So we're, oh yes. We are a lot more, it's just a lot more common than I ever grew up with. Right. So lots of students at the high school graduating and going to BYU, lots of Mormon families around the area. And so we've just learned more about Mormons and this type of stuff. And, I'm just being honest, my knowledge of Mormons and stuff came from like Big Love, right? Like growing up.
Yeah.
And I mean, I know that's TV show, but like there was like
Sister wives. And
I knew
are they
some of the
Mormon? They're not
terminology
Mormon.
that way, right? But I also understand like you know, and it's not that we didn't have Mormons on the East Coast. It's
Right,
not
yeah.
that. But it's just more part of the culture here in certain areas, right?
Okay.
So I was interested. I also now very personally know some people that are Mormon. And so now I'm watching it and like I'm dying to ask.
I was
people
going to
that I
ask if
know.
you had somebody that you could ask, like, is this real? Like,
I'm scared to ask, but I'm like want to.
no, yeah, I get it.
Because some of the stuff I get that I'm watching it and I'm like, okay, well this tracks, like I get it. I've heard things, I know things. I've done research, I fell in rabbit holes, like I get it. But why are you dancing like this? Like, or why are you talking about this then? Like, how are you on this show if you're still following these other rules? Like I don't get that stuff. So I'm not really sure.
Well, even the first episode, like the first thing that they talk about doing, I'm like, there's no way you're not excommunicated from this church right now. Like,
I don't understand.
like, how are you still attending services and not having all eyes on you? And like, the 2 episodes that I watched, 3 episodes, I'm like, I'm with you. Fishy's a good word. A lot of it felt just really forced to me. Like, are y'all really like this? Or are you trying to play up this for the camera? Because it's almost too much. Like, it's too much.
But like, how could you get away with it if
Like, how does the whole community not know? And why is this like, and what kind of parties are these?
okay, well here's the thing. Here's what I've found out though. So for anybody that's listening, that's still listening to us ramble, if you've stayed around this long, the show is on Hulu and all the episodes have dropped. It was debuted all at once and it's called The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, right? Secret Life of Mormon Wives, something like that.
Yes.
And the reason they did this show was because this is a group of Mormon wives on TikTok who dubbed themselves as, it's called Mom Talk. Many of them had followers on their own right on TikTok after doing like just cute videos like with their family and like recipes and housewarming tips and fun stuff. Like they were just normal people and they had a little bit of a following. But then they get this group together to kind of break the mold, as they say. And one of the girls named Taylor, she basically gets on a TikTok live one night and is talking to all the followers that she has and is answering questions about Mom Talk, because Mom Talk does these sort of crazy dances and silly videos to where it almost was like, are you guys really Mormon? Like, are you doing this right? Like, what's going on? And she spills the beans that some of these Mom Talk moms are soft swinging. They're swingers, soft swingers, which means everything but the final deed.
They're swingers.
Right.
I'm not taking this soft stuff.
So Mom Talk then kind of disbands. Okay, so from what I can gather based on the research I've done is that Taylor, yes, part of the swinger moms. These other girls that are the focus of this reality show, some were maybe at the parties or went to some of the things, but these other girls did not participate in the actual swinging. So Mom Talk itself, there are other girls. If you go on TikTok and look up Mom Talk, you'll see other girls in some of these videos. They are not in the show.
Okay.
But now these, maybe 5 other girls plus Taylor, all these 5 other girls' lives were completely changed because they were immediately associated with the swinging group.
Right.
And they're all like, thanks a lot, Taylor, And so they're either associated with the swinging group or they were at the party and they're like, no, but I didn't do anything. And so they're having to kind of come clean. And now everybody's got extra eyes on them. And so now they're really digging into like, who are you ladies? And like, why do you think you're still able to do this? So like the episode I just watched actually had like a blessing on there of like one of the children.
Okay. Yeah.
That's talked about,
the episode before that, because they're talking about the blessing. Okay.
Yes. And so like for this blessing, like there's one group that kind of gets invited to the blessing because they're considered better
They're better Mormons. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. They follow the rules.
But the other girls that aren't invited, they all go bowling together that day because they feel bad that they're not invited because they call themselves the sinners.
Okay.
So I don't know. I keep waiting for like at one episode for somebody to kind of just look in the camera and be like, okay, fine. It was me. I did it. Yes. Like, and whatever it was.
Well, when that one girl was like, I was at the party, but I had no idea this was going on. Like, first of all, how big is this place where you're having the party? If the way Taylor's describing it, there's no way you didn't know that something was happening at that party. Whether you and your husband participated is okay. But for you to say, oh, I had no idea that this was happening. Okay, are we in like this huge house where part of the parties happen over here and then the parties happen over here? Like, I mean,
basically, you're a Mormon and a liar. That's what she said.
Like, did you just wonder where half the party went?
Yes. Yes.
I don't know. It's
like, where's Bobby? Like, he's been gone a long time. And where's Trina? Like, she's not here either. Like, what? And then they come back together or something. Like, it's weird. Very weird. I just keep waiting because they skirt around the whole swinger thing all the time. And, there's just a lot of things that just don't add up to me. So I'm kind of wondering if things get tied up in a bow. So I think that's why I'm watching it.
And I guess this is a spoiler. So spoiler alert for anybody but one girl moved to Hawaii for 3 months. And then you find out she comes back and says because her husband was on Tinder. So because
he was addicted to porn.
That's right. Yeah. But you moved for 3 months?
Yeah. She's like, basically like, I had to get out of here. And I was like, wow. Like,
that's a big move.
That's impressive. I mean, yeah, they just up and moved. And, here's the thing. All these women, they have like husbands that a lot of them are super young ladies. They're all very young, like in their 20s and around there. It's all very young. But they and they have multiple kids in their young 20s.
Yeah.
But they're all married and stuff. And they have they had a conversation. They are all the breadwinners in their families, and they have big houses and nice areas and go out and do things, take trips, all this stuff. They're the breadwinners because of Mom Talk. They have brand deals. They have all this stuff. So they know where their bread is buttered right now.
Yeah.
So like they're torn in the middle of this, right? Like, do I be a Mormon? Do I be on TikTok? I don't really know. Like, what do I do? And do I go swinging? Like, I don't,
and some of these parents are horrified. Like, and their parents look to be my age. I still have to figure out how old Taylor's mom is because I swear they look like sisters more than mom and daughter.
Yep. Some of the moms like, yeah, it's interesting. So I guess I'm just more curious. And then after I watch the whole thing, like I just might have to like do some personal investigation locally and see what people are saying.
Do y'all have parties? I don't want to come. I just want to know. Like,
I'm just saying, like, no reason. I'm not asking. I don't need to be invited. I was just curious what y'all do. Like,
I would rather not be invited. Thanks. I just want to know if this is a thing. And like, that y'all do.
No reason. I don't know. I didn't watch anything.
They're going to be like, did you watch Mom Talk?
Yeah, they're going to be like, oh, great. You watched that show on Hulu. I'll be like, what show?
I don't know what you're talking
No,
about. I don't even have Hulu.
Just really like you guys. So anyway, okay, well, I'm going to watch the whole thing because I just need to feel like I need to finish it and figure out what in the world they're talking about and what's going on and see where this ends up. But I don't know. I can report back. Yeah.
I'll watch it.
I just, I feel like
don't like things that feel forced. I mean, I know these things are all scripted, but this one seems really over the top for no reason. Like, it's just these conversations start out so innocently, and then we're on like this sexual context, and I'm like, what? How did we get from there to, you're talking about lemonade, and now we're talking about
and then they all get involved in it, but then yet they all get like mad at a few of them for being not Mormon enough, or something. And I'm like, but you were just talking about this. Like, I don't get it. And this is one of the only shows where I've seen where they almost allow them to like whisper, like you don't see it very much. Like they'll be like, well, you remember that time we were doing this? And she's like, what? I can't remember. And so like they start whispering and then they don't address it in their interviews. Mm-hmm. And I'm sitting there going, well, what? Like, I don't know what you're talking. I can't pick up on the clues because I don't.
Right. I can't see your lips moving. And I don't know what you're talking about before that. Yeah.
And usually, because, if usually somebody whispers in like a reality show in their live interview, they're going, okay, so here's what happened. Like, da, 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 da. And they kind of summarize it. Well, they don't. Like, if it's secret, the producers like ask them and they're just like, nope, let me just say it was more of a secretive type of thing. I'm like, yeah, we saw that. Yeah. So it's weird. I don't know. They're still they're still so young sometimes. Like I see them, they're talking about being the breadwinners. They're making all this money. They're famous. They're doing this and all that stuff. And then they're still like teenage girls.
That's what I was going to say. They seem like kids because that party where you went to go to celebrate his medical school and his parents are in there and they're devout Mormons. And you're in the hot tub, cuddled up and making out with your husband and drinking. Like, who does that?
That's high school. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, who gets in the hot tub with all the, like, your friends like that anyway as adults?
Right.
This little square hot tub. It's not like some huge.
Right. Yeah. It's
a type thing, like at a spa. This is a little back deck hot tub. But the whole time I'm like thinking, like, you guys are like little kids.
I thought the same thing. Like, this is stuff that we would do this stuff in high school, but if someone's parents are there and you have children of your own, are you really just stripping down to your bikini and sneak drinking in the hot tub and hoping you don't get found?
And then everybody's whispering like, I can't believe he's drinking. Oh my God. Right. All this stuff. And I'm like, oh no, like what is, it's really, I think that's why it's intriguing to me is because it's such a different lifestyle. It's not. And
that's where I'm like, is this real? Do they really act like this, or is they in the hot tub?
Yeah, I think so.
You think they really act like that?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
I do.
Well, maybe I'll watch.
Do you watch Real Housewives of Salt Lake City?
No.
Okay. Well, I see a lot of similarities there.
Okay.
But the Salt Lake City housewives are like in their late 50s and older, some even. And so it's like, I can imagine this is what they were like when they were younger.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. This is the next generation. Anyway, moving on, we have to discuss what's going on because you and I have purposely not discussed, as we never do, Big Brother. Mm-hmm. It is the show of summer. It's what we wait for. It's what we watch. It's my guilty pleasure, just like this podcast. But I want to know, since we haven't discussed anything, and here we are now this week, they have made it to jury. The next person evicted will be the first jury member. So we're at a really good point right now to discuss because jury, as we know, is when it really starts to get good and juicy. Mm-hmm. But let's just take it from the top and we can breeze over the first part because obviously it's, unfortunately those people didn't get much time in the house. Sometimes they just kind of come in guns blazing, they get kicked out early and sorry for you. But there have been some unfortunate incidents, I think, that we need to discuss. And I would love your feedback on it. There was a little bit of a feel at the beginning of the season that maybe, just maybe, CBS had been listening to Chick Chat.
I think they have.
Right? I mean, my jaw dropped whenever they announced that there would be 3 nominees and that they would not know who the final 2 being nominated for the final eviction would be until just before the vote. Mm-hmm. It's what we've been asking for years.
Yeah. You're welcome, CBS.
Thank you. Your ratings just went through the roof. You're welcome. It was glorious to see this AI twist. That's the theme this season. I usually think their themes are really cheesy. And the AI whole thing is cheesy, but it is on brand for what's top trending right now in the world. Mm-hmm. So I get it. This whole AI thing is basically playing tricks on the house. And the AI, for the first whole half of the season, the rule was you were going to, head of household had to nominate 3 people, go up on the block, and then those 3 people spend the week thinking any of them could go home. Mm-hmm. And if you're going to sit there and mock up your ideas of how you're going to play this out, you have to do so many scenarios because on the eviction night, there is an arena match between the 3 nominees and one person gets saved, like for real saved. And they are off the block, no questions asked. And those 2 people are left up there. And that's it.
Minutes before the vote. So there's not a lot of time to strategize and talk through it.
And these people are crying. They're
begging.
Heavy breathing. They are, they're pleading their case. They can't think straight because nobody thought this person would win or that person would still be up there, or heaven forbid they were a pawn, all this stuff. And so it really made, I think, a really, really nice show, really nice gameplay. I think it gives people an out sometimes to be like, I didn't know what to do. Like, I do think that this season we have seen more emotion from players when it came to
too much
votes.
from some.
Oh, definitely. But when it came to voting, there's been a lot more when they go in the diary room and like Julie asked them for their vote. This is one season that I've noticed. There's been a lot of people that say, I want to vote for, and it's almost like they're deciding right then.
Yeah.
And that just usually doesn't happen. They go in knowing who they're voting for. They've told all their friends, and then we know what's going to happen. This one, they almost have it's been a last minute thing.
It has been last minute because you never know who's you're voting, who's going to be the final 2. And I think with that, the head of household is in somewhat of control, but especially this season with the veto being used, sometimes the people that the nominees or that the head of household put up there as nominees and the people they want to go home are not the final 2 left on the block for people to vote for. So it's like even the head of household does not have control of the game. The game this year has really been in the hands of the house guests. There hasn't been a lot of has there been a unanimous vote yet?
No.
I'm trying to think.
No.
Yeah.
No.
I haven't think everyone's come to a consensus and been like, yeah, we're definitely voting this person out.
And I think the veto's been used more than
it's been used every time.
Yeah, the veto's been used more than it ever has to take off people that were not expected to come off the block. And then also the play that I just feel like when people are gunning for the veto and then they come off, then they put somebody else on, like you said, the whole head of household thing kind of loses a little luster at the beginning of the season because it's like, oh, well, I had a household, but all I really got out of it was to use the big bed because
Yeah. Right.
because the
Get
rest of it
snacks and
didn't really
pictures, yeah.
happen, But I did notice that at the beginning of the season, which obviously is kind of we finished now, but towards the beginning of the season, all these powers and special votes and America votes were put into play more heavily at the beginning of the season, which typically we don't always see either. They kind of breeze through the first of the season in past summers. It's usually kind of goes quickly. You don't really, it's not as memorable.
They
Almost.
place them throughout the season versus then like all at once.
This one, I felt like there was a big old lump of them, and we had America's vote. We had the powers given. We had tricks played. We had, the first week, 2 people got powers. Like all this stuff happened, and they were back to back to back. And that was right up front. And that just really kept people on their toes from the very beginning. And unfortunately for some people, I think it caused a little paranoia, a little tension, and people went nuts within the first week.
I'm always annoyed, and it happens every year. I wish one year someone would keep their power secret. Like, it gets out almost immediately. They can't handle having this knowledge and not having anybody else know. Like, you've known these people a week and you're going to run and be like, I can trust you. I'm going to tell you I have this special power. Like,
they say
just
it every
use your
time.
power.
They say, I'm going to keep it secret. I'm not telling anybody. And then the next clip is they're telling somebody and they go, well, I told him because I feel like I really trust him. I'm like, you've known him 8 hours.
Right.
Because
someone's going to be lying. At the end, everyone's going to be like, no, I don't have it. No, I don't have it. It's not like you could go through every person like, well, she said she didn't have it. And she said she didn't have it.
Right.
So you must have it because if everybody says no, then it's really, you play it, it changes the game because like with the whole Tucker situation, like you should put these 2 up because they have special powers and force them to use their special powers to get them out of the game. Well, they would have been out of the game in 4 weeks anyway if they didn't use them. So it's like, just let it happen and let the house be surprised if the head of household nominees get taken over by someone else. Or if someone secretly, because she got to do it in secret, she got to take somebody off the block in secret. If they're saved and you don't know who did it, because now it's like, now the target's on those 2 people's backs because they have these special powers that they used. And I'm like, just lie.
And I can't stand it when people stand there and go, or they get mad because somebody had the power and they kept it a secret. And I'm like, but that's the whole
That's the part of the game.
Like, you would do the same thing.
You get the power in secret because no one's supposed to know you have it. If they wanted everyone to know who had the power, they would have just announced to the house. It would just
be out there. They'd say Quinn has the power. Mackenzie has the power. Whatever. Like, no, you can't get mad at somebody for having the secret.
Yeah.
And so let's dive in to talking about these players. And I think there's a handful that deserve their own conversation. And I believe we have to start with Angela. What is your opinion of Angela?
I'm ready for Angela to go home. She is the most paranoid Big Brother player I have ever seen in this game. She thinks everybody's lying to her. She calls people out, and then she turns on the waterworks. I don't know if that's a game, if that's genuine, but it's very frustrating to watch her from week to week. Like, my daughter will watch it with me sometimes, and my husband will watch it sparingly, and even they're both like, what's wrong with her?
Yeah. I cannot.
Like, there's so many things. I can't even begin to tell you what's wrong with her because there's just, I don't even know, but I do know, and it's there's no rhyme or reason for why she's doing this.
It's a lot of the, okay, like, we get it. She keeps saying, I want to be here. I want to do this. Like, this is my dream. This is my dream. And I want to look at her and be like, it's everybody's dream. They're all here for the same thing. Like, everybody.
Nobody just stumbled into the Big Brother house and was like, oh, I think I'll stay for a while.
Looks fun. What's up? Like, no, they all want to be here. And then she kept, the crying. But my biggest problem was her blow-ups at people.
It didn't make sense.
It's ridiculous and it's embarrassing.
I can't figure out why they keep her around.
And why on God's green earth do people keep pulling her off the block? Like, what
I
is
don't get it.
production
She's going
not
to end up winning
showing?
the whole thing.
What is production not showing us as to
Unless-
why they all feel so close to her and so indebted to her to like pull her off the block?
So is it that, or is she this year's, I can't even think of who it was. Was it Rachel? Where it was she, because she's annoying everybody in the house and she's so emotional and she's doesn't have a filter, that every week she's going to be at least one of the nominees.
She's a shield.
Yeah. So do you save her to get somebody else out? Like, that's the only reason I can think of it. Well, Leah's reasoning was it's a house vote, it's a jury vote.
Leah was dumb. Leah was dumb, and she got her friend kicked out. Like, way to go. But
who, by the way, was also a jury vote for you.
Correct. Yeah. Correct. And it was dumb. But I don't know. Like, I haven't figured it out. I can't tell, but I just, she's so back and forth. She thinks everybody's out to get her and all this stuff, and that everybody's lying to her, when really, like, sure, if they're lying, it's only gameplay lies, though.
Yeah.
Nobody's like doing anything purposely to hurt you. Nobody's out to get you, Angela. It's all gameplay. That's truly all it is. And she is so worked up about it that it's, she's so hot and cold about it. I just can't figure it out. And, and then, it really kind of, I hope she feels really bad when she looks back at the video. Like, I hope she goes and watches it. I know she will, because she's a fan. Yeah. I hope she feels really bad, first of all, with the whole Matt situation. She gets Matt kicked out. She came down and railed on him and called him out and made him look ridiculous, calling him names and being ugly to him on like night 3 or something. I mean, it was
very early. Yes.
So early on.
Because she thought he lied to her or was trying to control her game. And she sees things completely differently than anybody else. Again, we're only watching the edited version, but the way she portrayed it and what he actually said to her were complete opposites.
So not how it was portrayed. And then to call out the people that had come up to her to try to basically form an alliance, and she calls them out in public, and they were like,
we were telling the truth.
We were telling the truth. We weren't doing this. And she calls them out like, oh, good performance. And it's like, you just screwed yourself and made yourself look cuckoo.
Yeah.
And so, from that moment, I was just like, oh no, this lady is not it. This is not.
I just knew she was going to be out early, but look what
I know. And so I felt bad about like people leaving because of her overreacting on stuff. And then she did it again with Tucker, who Tucker is in his own right interesting. Tucker was running away with the game. They had to get Tucker out. He was going to win the whole thing because he could not be stopped.
Right.
And it was part personality, part comp beast, part strategy. Like, he was figuring things out.
Yeah.
But he told Angela he would ride with her. And he's like, I got you. And she did not believe him, thought he was playing her, thought he was out to get her. And, she lost her shot with it. And now Tucker's gone, and she didn't have him as that shield either. And I just, she's messed it up for, I feel like, a lot of people.
Yeah.
That probably, I believe, should have been there over her.
Yeah. Yeah. Tucker was smart. The other thing that I like about this season is they've been able to strategize and get out big targets quick, without being revealed.
Yep.
So Chelsea is playing such a good game.
Super smart game.
She is getting out the target. Like, she was instrumental in getting Tucker out. She was instrumental in getting Joe out.
Yep.
Like, but she's done it so quietly that no one ever thinks this is Chelsea pulling the strings.
Yeah.
Like,
they think there's
dare
a
I
group
say
of
this
them.
is the season of the female? Like, the
Maybe.
female game players are doing really well. Like,
look at
Takor and Chelsea and Mackenzie. Like,
look at Mackenzie, who has 0 alliances. 0, which is really odd for, I mean, again, I'm stereotyping here, but the pretty girl that's the athlete that comes in at, whatever. Nobody has tried to align with her.
Well, she was aligned with Matt, so that threw her for a little bit, and then Leah. So it was the 3 of them.
Yeah, but they have not had like an alliance.
No, I don't think anybody trusts them because
she hasn't had it from the beginning. And she's even said, if I win HOH, maybe somebody will come to me and I can maybe team up with the right person so that we can take this further.
I think she wants to team up with Chelsea.
It would be great.
Yeah.
But Chelsea's
mad at her because the whole Cam situation. So
right. Chelsea's getting a little jealous about this. And I'm like, Chelsea, don't play this.
Focus on the game.
Don't get wrapped up in this.
Yeah.
But Mackenzie's holding her own though. She's gotten where she's not being nominated anymore. And even when she was nominated, she was just winning and taking herself off, And so it's,
she's got to be careful though, because she's almost the female version of Tucker. They're not as strategic, I don't think, but competition beast. Like, if she's not careful and doesn't become a part of an alliance soon, I feel like once they get some of the higher profile targets out, she's next.
They're going to say, well, I'm not aligned with her. She's the only person I'm not aligned with.
She wins every competition, so we've got to get her out. Like, we got to get the opportunity to get her out when we can. Otherwise, she's going to run away with all the competitions. And
I'm not pleased or happy with Leah because Leah has not done jack.
Nothing.
And she doesn't know what she's playing. She can't figure it out. She doesn't know how she's playing this. She can't answer questions. She can't strategize. She's just
pretty
silly to me. She's silly,
And that's why it made me laugh when she was like, well, Angela's a jury vote for me. I'm like, honey, you ain't going to be sitting there at the end of the day.
I know. Like, stop
you're going to be along with her.
Like, you need to worry about next week.
Right. You might be voting for Angela, but I don't think Angela's going to be voting for you, because unless you change your game up completely, you're going to be right in that jury house. Like, stop worrying about what's going to happen in 9 weeks, because it probably is not going to be. I could be wrong, but
I know, but it's
not looking good for you, Leah.
If she gets down to the end, her only play is, I skated through here.
I was under the radar.
I was a floater.
Get your life jacket.
Get your life vest. So it's, Leah, Mackenzie, that group, whatever. Cam was kind of quiet at the beginning, but I think everybody thinks he's like some big, sporty guy that's going to be able to come in and do stuff and win things. And so they have a little intimidation behind him, but he's got Chelsea if she will trust him.
And if he'll just stop making her mad,
And if he stops flirting with everybody. But, all right, let's talk about Quinn.
Okay.
So Quinn comes in and immediately gets a power.
Mm-hmm.
He's one of the ones that thinks, I'm not going to tell anybody, oh my gosh, I'm on Big Brother. I'm so excited. And now I got a power. I'm not going to tell anybody because that's what you just don't do on there. And he told people. And then people started finding out. And then he tried to play dumb. And then people knew he's lying. And then he made an alliance with every single person in the house.
Every single person.
I know better than that. And I don't consider myself a super fan. I consider myself a big fan. But he's a super fan. And you don't make an alliance with everybody. You can't. It never works.
Well, and the Pentagon alliance could have worked if A, they weren't stupid and put themselves up as pawns, but then B, if Quinn told everybody in the house about his power. Well, I'm not going to say everybody in the house. He told a lot of people in the house about his power, but when he was asked by his by the guy that left.
Tucker.
Anyway, no, not Tucker.
Joseph.
Anyway, no, the black guy that left who put himself up as a pawn he was a Marine.
Oh, Cedric.
Cedric. When Cedric asked him about the power, he would have just been like, yeah, I've got it and we can use it to our advantage.
Yeah.
That whole alliance may have worked. But because of that, they didn't trust him anymore. So then he just floated to his next one and would tell them what they wanted to hear. And everybody knew what he was doing.
Yeah. He got...
Well, because Angela called him out.
Yeah, he got caught up in it all.
Yeah.
And he got overworked and so much and all this stuff. And then he gets HOH and then it all backfires on him, and nothing gets accomplished during his HOH. And it has been a whirlwind, rocky kind of season, back and forth and up and down and everything. And I've really enjoyed it.
I have. This is one of my favorite. I just can't stand listening to Angela cry, see her cry every other scene. It's like we were talking about the mom talk, whatever. It seems to be too much. Is this real? Are you overacting? Not even overreacting, just overacting. I feel like this is you can't be this sobby. You can't cry this much. This can't be real life. But I don't know. It's like she gets saved and she has this breakdown oh, thank you. I love you all. I promise I'm going to be here for you.
I'm going to do this for you. I'm going to win this for you. I'm going to do this and show you that I'm here to fight because I deserve this. I love this. This is my dream. I'm going to be here. And she does the shaking thing. And I'm just like, stop. Everybody wants to be here.
Nobody cares anymore. That's why I just think they're keeping her around just because it's she's going up on the block every week. Yeah. So we really just have to have one additional nominee. And if we can just send her home, they just have to be careful that they don't take her to the end. And then she wakes up and is like, I'm going to win every competition from week 4 on out. So you got to take her out at some time. But
so I'm going to name some of these players that are left. Mm-hmm. And I want you to tell me what you think, do they have a chance to win? Well, I know everybody has a chance to win. Obviously, we never know what happens. But as of right now, this current situation, right this second, do you think they might be in the final 2? Okay. Cam.
No.
T-Core.
Yes. I just want to figure out her accent. I just want to put that out there.
What is it? Does she have hearing loss?
So I had to look it up.
Okay.
It does sound a little bit like that, but the article I read, and I don't know how, I didn't read many, but the article I read said that she grew up in Atlanta, spent some time in the UK. So her accent is a combination of both, and she just floats in and out of it. Oh. And I want to know how much time you spent in the UK, because you spent some time in the UK and you don't talk like that.
No, I don't.
Did you spend years, formative years in the UK? What age are we talking that you came back? It's just odd. And it's the only thing. And again, my husband, who watches one episode every month, was like, where is she from?
I know. It's almost distracting sometimes too, to me. I think she's smart and I think she's a smart player. I think she's, I hope that being tied with Kimu is not going to backfire on her.
Yeah.
As tight as she is with him, Yeah. But I do think she's smart. I do think she has a chance.
She has a chance.
I do think she's going to have to win something here and there.
Yeah.
Because she hasn't been a showing out there at all.
Yeah. Just that one head of household.
Yeah.
Which blew up in her face because she didn't get what she wanted.
Exactly. And I don't think she conducted the head of household very well, where she ran around asking everybody, if you were me, who would you put up? I can't stand it when people do that. Stop trying to ask people that, because that just, all it does is make people uncomfortable in the sense of well, if I tell you the wrong person, you're going to target me next.
Yeah. Or
You
you
know?
just don't want the blood on your hands because you want to say that I
That's
told you to put
exactly
them
right.
up. Yeah.
And that's just not, to me, that's not like a cool way to play the game. Like,
No.
you know, but so I didn't like it when she did that, but
Yeah.
whatever. Rubina.
No, but I think she can win a couple more competitions.
I do too. I think she's going to stick around for a little bit just because she's scrappy.
Yeah. She impressed me in that AI. I didn't know she had that in
Absolutely.
her. That
Going
was
through
great.
the ropes and stuff.
Yeah, that was amazing.
She did wonderful, and she was fired up, you know, after
Yeah.
Tucker left. But I think I agree. I think she's also a little safe right now because everybody just kind of, she's not on their radar right this second.
No, bigger targets.
Yes. All right, Chelsea.
Yes.
Yes. Let's see, Mackenzie,
Yes.
Kimu.
I think he's in the middle. I don't think so, but it depends on how far. If him and T Core can team up and each win a competition here and there, I think it's potential because they are truly a duo.
So, what was your thoughts on? You're caught up, yeah.
Yeah.
So, what was your thoughts on people flipping the vote because of his speech?
I mean, I was okay with it. I didn't care.
You know,
I thought it was fine.
I guess I was a little surprised because he's not the first person to have said something about representation in a speech. You know, people saying they want to be the first African American this, or they want to show for women, or they want to do this, or, you know, whatever it may be, their cause. They've brought that up before. We've seen it in multiple seasons. But I've never really heard people say, oh, I was totally voting this person until I heard them say this.
Well, and you're talking about the vote against Joe, right?
Yeah.
So I think some people are lying because Chelsea orchestrated that Joe exit.
Because Chelsea and Mackenzie was like,
I'll do it.
Yeah, I had to, or no, she said, after I heard his speech and blah, blah, blah. She's like, if it sends me home because I stood on what grounds I believed in, then so be it, blah, blah, blah.
You're right. Mackenzie was the vote that flipped because of that. But I think Chelsea had...
Angela ended up voting.
Yes. I think Chelsea had at least one or two of the other votes that sent him out, that sent Joe home. But yeah, you're right. Mackenzie wasn't in on those conversations because she was still on the block.
And it was a 3-4 vote.
And she didn't know who was going to vote.
Right.
Yeah.
And so it's, you know, and I don't know, like I said, it's just, I've never really heard somebody come back in and go, oh, well, after his speech, I changed it right then. And it was all because of his causes. It wasn't because like his strategy or what he explained of his game. It was what he stands for. And so, you know, that I just found interesting as to maybe how chemo comes across in the house that we don't always see, obviously, you know? So while I think he will stick around for a little bit, I don't know that he would make it to the end.
No, yeah.
I think he kind of got his pass on this one. And I think now he's going to go to jury and that'll be kind of like his, like, you know, we kept you around till jury type thing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I was okay with the Joe going home because since week one, he was like, no, I won't go. I think it's ironic that he kept telling people, no, I won't go up as a pawn. Don't put me up as a pawn. And the one time he gets put up as a pawn is from his closest ally in the house. Yeah. And he goes home. I'm like, well, you threw competitions. You didn't play in half of them. You just sat around and like did this. Like he is every definition of a video store clerk, which is what his real job is. And so it's so funny. Like he fits the stereotype and it's bizarre, but yeah, if he just had not told Chelsea that their games were the same, Chelsea probably would have left him alone. But when she compared Chelsea's game to his, Chelsea was like, wait a minute. Yeah. I've actually done stuff.
Yeah. She was like, nice try, Joseph. Good gosh. Okay. So next up is Leah.
No.
Agreed. Quinn.
He'd have to win on out. I'm going to say no. He'd have to win every competition he enters, I think. He's just rubbed people the wrong way.
I think that I think his days are numbered now.
Yeah.
I think for a while he's been kind of able to skirt from back and forth from like Chelsea to Cam to T-Core to that kind of like bouncing around from those people. But now it's dwindling down to where I think they all are probably getting tired of hearing him talk about getting Angela out.
Yeah.
And they've also seen him flub several HOHs now
Mm-hmm.
and competitions and stuff, and get a little scatterbrained throughout the house. So I think they're all going to be like, okay, like we've kind of had enough, Quinn. Like,
Yeah.
it's time for you to go. And in the grand scheme of things, he is a super fan. Like, he probably could, if he was given the opportunity to stay long enough, he probably could hone in and really win the last couple competitions, or you know what I'm saying, and then put forth a good speech and all this stuff because he's a super fan.
Yeah.
So I think they should probably try to get him out. And the last one is Angela.
Unfortunately, yes, because I think they're just going to keep her around, and then they're going to keep her around so long that she just starts winning these competitions, because they're going to be tailored between physical and
and mental ones,
like
and
mental or puzzles or something, and she's going to win one of them.
Well, there's going to be some random one that's going to be, a luck one or something that she's going to get, or there's going to be,
she'll make a deal with someone to win,
right? Or there'll be some sort of like another vote that gets her a power or something. I think the one thing that she might be in trouble with would be a double eviction.
Oh, yeah. I could see that. And that's still coming up, right?
Yeah, we haven't had any.
Yeah.
I think she could be one of the people that would really be hurt by a double eviction on the way that the night goes, because it's so much, and because she gets so worked up and she gets, just frazzled about stuff. I wonder if that would almost affect her.
Yeah, what I don't know about her is I think you've got to get either. So there's 3 boys left. Yeah, Cam, Quinn, and Chemo.
Cam, Quinn, Chemo. Yep.
That's it. So I think once you get 2 of the 3 of them out, she's the next target.
Yeah, and I think they could probably get Quinn and Chemo out fairly quickly, numbers-wise.
Yeah.
Or Quinn and Cam even. But Cam's just making nice with lots of them. And he knows it too. He even said it. He said it in his diary room. He was like, hey, he's like, I know I am loyal to Chelsea. He's like, but I also know these other people are votes too, whether I'm on the block or in the jury, whatever.
Chelsea would be smart to take him with her because he's not going to get any votes unless he just picks it up from here and just starts winning stuff. And the 2 of them just keep saving each other. He won that. He won 1 veto, right? When he was on the block, he won that veto.
Oh yeah, he took himself off.
Yeah.
It's like the only time that the veto was used on the actual person.
On the person who died.
Right?
Yeah.
Gracious. Yeah. So overall, I have enjoyed the season. Really have. And now I feel like it's really about to pick up. We have OTEV coming this week in the veto competition. And who is on the block? It's Angela and
Chemo, right?
Chemo. Yeah. So I do think Chemo, could with those long legs and long arms, could have a chance on OTEV. Who knows? And Chelsea's head of household. She's obviously going to be playing. I don't know who would pull them off unless T-Core was playing, and if she was to pull off Chemo, but I don't know. We'll see. But let's hypothetically say that end of the game, it is still Kimu and Angela on the block. Who goes home?
Angela.
You think?
I do. Maybe because he's got Rabina and T-Core. The question mark will be Quinn and Mackenzie and Leah.
And Cam.
Well, I think Cam would vote whatever Chelsea tells him to do. And if she wants Angela, I think he'll vote Angela.
Okay.
But I don't know. I think Quinn would go with Chelsea too, because he's been going with Chelsea this whole time.
Well, Quinn's not going to vote. He's going to vote Angela.
He's going to vote for Angela. Yeah.
No
He's going to
matter
vote
what.
for Angela.
Yeah.
So,
but Leah loves Angela.
yeah, she's not voting for Angela.
Right. And Mackenzie, I feel like I never know. Chelsea, I think, would vote Angela out.
Is there a tie break this week? Opportunity? No.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 votes.
So yeah, she would be a tie break for someone if it was 3-3.
And I feel like she'd vote Angela out, right?
I would think so. Yeah, I don't. If she,
I know. I would like to think so, but I also would like to think that people would take themselves off the block as opposed to give it to Angela. But whatever. What am I, dummy? Gracious. So, yeah. So I'm anxious to see where this goes. I'm anxious to see how this season ends. I can't really pick my favorite right now. Like I said, I really like how really like how Chelsea's playing.
yes.
I like there's part of me that really likes the fact that Mackenzie's not been aligned with anybody just yet.
And has made it this far, yeah.
And has kind of just been around, and I like that. Because I do think if she was to align with somebody later or whatever, officially align with them and then get to the finals, I think that's a hell of a line for the jury, is to be like, oh, by the way, all your little alliances that you guys were bouncing between and breaking and going up and down, all this stuff, I didn't have anybody.
Right.
I didn't literally not like my friends got voted out. It wasn't just that. It was like, I did not have an alliance.
Right.
Like Matt wasn't even long enough there for her to form something officially,
Are y'all still going to meet up afterwards? Or,
right.
you meet up with Cam now? I'm like confused.
She's like, what's his last name again?
Well, and the moves that Chelsea made, like the big people she got out, the Tucker and Joe, I call Joe a big one just because she was instrumental in it,
right.
But they're not voting. Like they're not in jury.
Exactly.
So do people take that into account when she's like, well, I got some big targets out. They're like,
and
great,
like,
but they're not voting.
It was the first half of the game.
Yeah.
It didn't, they were everybody's target.
Yeah.
Everybody was trying to get these people out.
Yeah.
So if it wasn't going to be you, it was going to be the other person, whatever it was. Right.
Yeah.
What's going to matter now is who gets out. I mean, I know she's not winning or anything. It's going to be who gets out Angela, because in the jury, then you can say, well, look, it wasn't that Angela was a threat per se, physically or even in competitions. It's the fact that everybody was keeping her around long enough and letting her float by. And I recognize that if she made it to the end, she would have that as a win. So I got her out.
She's a shield for everybody to make it further in the game. And I got rid of everyone's shield. Yeah.
Exactly. And opened up the game for it to be war.
We're all just going after each other because nobody has anybody to hide behind anymore.
It's fair game at this point. Yeah. So I think somebody who gets out Angela, and I think who probably, if somebody was to take out T-Core, they would have a pretty strong argument on their hands too.
Yeah, the only problem with T-Core is she's going into the jury with 2 definite votes, so you've got to take her out because she's the only one who has guaranteed votes right now.
Right. Well, you just got to hope that she goes out early, right? Like, don't let her form anymore with the remaining people.
Right.
But I also don't know that people actually recognize that T-Core's as smart as she is.
Oh, I think they underestimate her completely.
Agreed. Yeah. Which could play to her advantage, but at the same time, it's hard to convince the jury that you were doing stuff if they didn't recognize that you were smart.
Yeah.
It's easy for us to see it, but it's really hard for them to look back and hear in a speech, oh, well, I was doing this and I was doing that. And they're all going, really? Like, we didn't see it,
I think right now, Quinn is a good vote for like a Chelsea or a T-Core because he knows the moves that they made.
I
so
agree.
sending him to jury is good for both of them.
Yeah. If done well, if done properly, and not pissing him off on the way out.
I think even pissing him off because he's such a big fan that he'd be like, you were instrumental, I saw it, and you got me too. Yeah, you got me too. Yeah. I played, and he even admits that he's been into every alliance that it's going to blow up in his face eventually. Like, he knows
and
that.
He'll joke. I mean, his diary rooms are pretty funny because he's like,
I'm still here somehow.
He's like, what am I doing? He's like, I know better than this. Like, he gets it.
Yeah.
He's like, this is not how I was supposed to play.
I mean, I like Quinn. He's reckless, but I like watching him. He's good for the game.
Yeah, I do too. And there's really, other than Angela, I mean, there's not been many people that I've been like, I don't want to.
She's the only one I want to see go home so that I don't have to watch her sob for 30 minutes or an hour every week.
Yeah, every week. All right. Well, that's exciting. I can't wait to see what happens. And now you and I can talk about it a little bit offline whenever we're texting after episodes. But so yeah, and then you can watch Mormon Wives. Then you can watch Big Brother. And then maybe one day there'll be like Mormons on Big Brother. And then our whole worlds would just explode with stuff. Goodness gracious.
I don't want to see Taylor locked in the house with these people for too long. I don't know what's going to happen. We're going to have to pay for our subscription to CBS.
Well, I do know that I do think that Dancing with the Stars cast being announced the other day might be a good episode we might have to discuss whenever that first cast comes out and does their episode, so we can discuss everybody's return, because this is a pretty rich cast. It's a good one.
It is good.
They've had some kind of crappy ones over the past couple of years, but this
there's a couple people I have to look up, like there is every time.
Yes.
For the most part, I know who's on there.
This one's a little more legit, so I'm good with it. And then quick hits. Yesterday, I saw the news that Princess Kate announced she is done with her chemotherapy treatments.
Yes,
Bravo and congratulations. Very excited for that. I did see that Prince William has let his facial hair start to grow back in. He's got a little scruff going on and people are pleased. So that is nice to see. Haven't heard much about the king lately and how his health is doing. But I guess sometimes no news is good news. We'll see.
Yeah.
We're back into football season. Got my fantasy teams happening right now. Trying to manage that. Stay on that side of Chick Chat, which is the sports side of Chick Chat. And yeah, back into the groove of school and everything else. Soon we'll have fall TV lineups coming back at you and we can discuss all the goodness. Oh,
yes.
One show to announce that I have on my list. I don't know if you have anything you're going to be anxious to watch, but I do have a show premiering at the end of September that I'm excited to watch. I believe it's coming on ABC, maybe, but it's called Dr. Odyssey. If you get a chance, look it up as a preview. It's like a little trailer for it.
Mm-hmm.
It's starring Don Johnson and Joshua Jackson, a.k.a.
the boat thing. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. It's like Grey's Anatomy meets The Love Boat.
Yes.
Yes. I'm excited for that one too.
And I shall be recording it and saving it and watching it. So that is one to watch, one on the horizon. And hopefully on the next episode, we can discuss the first Dr. Odyssey, because that would be out by then. It
Yes.
comes out the end of this month.
All right.
All right, Jeanette. Well, thank you so much. Thanks to Moose over in the booth recording this for us. And thanks to you for listening. Hopefully, you have enjoyed your summer and are ready for some cooler weather as well and some fall TV heading your way. Check us out on TheMESH.tv or any of our other shows over there, and find us on Instagram. Follow us, give us some suggestions, let us know what you want to talk about. We're ready for some fall TV subjects and what you're going to be watching. But stay tuned. We'll be back next month and ready to discuss. Take care, everybody. We'll catch you on the flip side.
You've been listening to The Mesh, an online media network of shows and programs ranging from business to arts, sports to entertainment, music to community. All programs are available on the website as well as through iTunes and YouTube. Check us out online at TheMESH.tv. Discover other network shows and give us feedback on what you just heard.